until they start, and then we have to wait a little bit for us to see that. Alright, there we go. Or at least, there's the music. Yeah, there we go. There's a little bit of a delay on Samurai's stream. Shouldn't matter though. It's all about not the in-game timer. It's all about RTA. So first of all, one of the things that Funky Kong does differently than Donkey Kong. Oh, that was a little freeze or sync. Yeah, now they're similar again. Yeah, one of the things that Funky Kong can do is infinite rolling and double jumping, which you just saw. And with the double jump comes another exploit that we use called the grab jump, which is where you jump, grab, and then jump again. It just gives you that little bit of extra height, and it just makes some skips possible. Well, not per se skips, but some jumps. And I don't want to say like better, but it's definitely different enough for some little jumps. Other than that, there are no little Kongs to help you on your quests. Think about Diddy Kong, Dixie Kong, or Cranky Kong, where Cranky Kong is the Kong of choice for the speedruns back on the Wii U version. Well, that's not the case on that's not the case here. It's all Funky, and don't forget about Funky as well. Both runners ended the first level with only 2 seconds in between of them. Just pretty nice. Other functions of Funky Kong are infinite air underwater, which we're going to see in this level. The ability to stand on spikes, for some reason, and something that you hopefully don't see, a hover. GreenSnowDog unfortunately missed the jump on the ship from the enemy, which is only possible because of the double jump, which is also definitely pretty cool. You could say, with all the extras that Funky Kong has to offer, and the ability to have 5 hearts rather than 4, you could say that Funky Kong is easy mode. And for casual play, I definitely agree, but for the art that is called speedrunning, it definitely differs enough to make optimal gameplay, I wouldn't say more complex, but it's different enough to be fun. Okay, Samu finished that level already with a grab jump. SnowDog taking it a little bit safe, but that definitely is not that big of a problem. If he failed it, he has to waste way more time. These first few levels are pretty straightforward. There's actually a vertical section in this level. That is to introduce the original character that was made here, Cranky Kong, with his pogo. But yeah, since there is no pogo, or no Cranky Kong in general, I mean, Funky also is pretty alright. So I'm going to switch to the audio real quick. There we go. There are a lot of spikes in here as well, and that definitely is in favor of for Funky Kong players. There's a hover on GreenSnowDog. It definitely is a thing to save you from disaster, which I do recommend use it, However, try to not get in danger in the first place. That might be even faster. Something else that's also different in the Funky Kong stages are how many hit points you have. Instead of having 4 hit points, which is only 1 hit if you want to keep your body Kong, Funky Kong can actually miss 4 of those hearts. So there's more opportunity to do what are called damage boosts or damage abuses, or what you want to call it. Just to be a little bit faster, that definitely helps with some later levels. And GreenSnowDog just entered 1-4 with Samuel already jumping in the minecart. This is one of 5 auto-scrollers in the game. And all this jumping definitely is not just because it looks swaggy. By jumping on certain parts, you will definitely just get a little bit of time, or save a little bit of time. The only problem is, there are a lot of pits in here. Just don't fall. Please don't fall. You also have more hearts in the minecarts and the other auto-scrolling levels with Funky. With Donkey Kong you only have 2 hearts on the Wii U version. And if we go way back to any other Donkey Kong country game, you only have 1 heart. Jokes have to be had there. Please don't play risky, GreenSnowDog. I saw that. Oh, Samu's fallen. Which is one of the few levels. Actually, it may be the only level which has a cutscene within the level. We got some Team SnowDog people in the chat. Do we get some Team Samu as well? Right, Samurai, or Samu, just entered Pompey, and Pompey is where the game actually starts. He has some pretty cool techniques. He's currently trying to do... He's going for early hits, which is a new technique, which is funky only since he has the hover ability. Just staying in the air. Other than that, the main strat here is getting rid of all these enemies as quick as possible, just to get Pompey, which is the name of the boss, to get into his attacking phase. Okay, he didn't go for the early hits there. Team Chugga Conroy, heck. That reminds me. GreenSnowDog is going... Oh, he didn't keep the hover, but he did go for the God Cops new style. I should mention, every boss in this game has 9 hit points and 3 phases, with each of them having 3 hits in them. And Pompey is one of the better bosses, in terms of that there is some cool speed tech. Ah, there's Team Samu. Right, last phase for Samu. Getting rid of these penguins, you don't want to miss them in the first time you see them. Okay, see if he's going for the early hit. There's a pretty cool strat, and we're going to see it here, where he... Oh, no early hit, but he did kill the fish like as soon as possible, as soon as his hit box was visible. Okay, maybe now on GreenSnowDog's screen. He is trying to get a lot of heights. And stay in the air, and he got the early hit. That was nice. And for the last phase, you don't really necessarily have to kill all the penguins. It's all about Pompey. Yeah, like Jock is saying, Pompey is definitely... Yeah, there are a lot of speeding up strats right now. Early hits that neither of the runners did. Definitely, if you have to switch first, and check out the ILs done by Cruncha and probably some other people. Alright, Samu just entering the second world, and this is definitely where the difficulty picks up. Especially with the amount of pits being in here. You can just fall to your death anytime. Especially when going with Cranky, since you don't have a lot of air control. But more about that later. I do want to say the music is nice, the visuals as well. And also something that Funky did, which you'll see after the climb in this windmill. Oh, we didn't get that platform. Here we go, there's this little elevator trolley thingy, where instead of having to wait a little bit and being able to jump from it, or roll jump from it, Funky can just immediately do it. Again, shout out to the grab jump. And GreenSnowDog hovered at just the last moment, making sure to actually make it, otherwise he would have plunged to his death. And speaking about that, it just happened to Samu, and now there's like 2 seconds of difference between the runners. Tropical Freeze has 6 worlds in the normal game, and then there's a bonus 7th world. However, that's not the objective for the any percent category. Okay, switching the audio again. Alright, 2-2 Mountain Mania on the Wii U, also dubbed Reset Mania. This is one of the first Rambi levels. Samu picks him up, GreenSnowDog just forgets him, but just for a little bit. There are some advantages and disadvantages of using Rambi. You can just plunge through some objects, plunge through some enemies. However, starting up a dash with Rambi is a little bit slower. And Samu now is the one actually ditching Rambi. Again, both routes have its advantages and disadvantages. Wow, there's like only a second of sync between these players. They're not going for the speed strats. These little box elevator thingies. If you wait long enough, you can get some extra forward momentum and just go really fast. I believe... Oh no, that was the one already. Which can give you like a significant speed boost if you wait for it. Also, being here with Funky definitely isn't as bad as being here with Cranky. It shouldn't be called Reset Mountain or Reset Mania anymore. Wow, that was so in sync. This is going to be a good match. Alright, 2-3, which is also a beautiful level. With a really nice soundtrack, and that's what I want to talk about. Everything in this level, or not everything, but a lot of it happens on the music, making this one of 3 levels in the game, which is working on the global timer. So whenever players spawn into this level, like everything starts happening already, and that means that if you make a little mistake and you've learned the level like super optimal, all the runners have to react to whatever's happening on the screen right now. However, although also true for Funky, it definitely is more of a problem with Cranky Kong. Seeing how Funky actually has some strats to rescue himself. Unfortunately, SnowDog died, and it's pretty easy to actually die here in this level. But it does waste a lot of time. Samu going for the pretty nice, what is that, a saxophone? Saxophone straps. Having to wait on this is the worst. Fast, SnowDog! When the wind starts going up, the ending barrel there just disappears for a bit. And Samu just entered the second minecart level, and also the last minecart level, unfortunately. These are the best, in my opinion. I do want to say this industrial soundtrack also is pretty cool, but other than that, nothing too much going on here. Other than something a bit later, but that's when we get there. And all of a sudden you lose your minecart and hey, another vehicle. I can already see that neither of the runners are collectors. Getting all these, oh wait, actually GreenSnowDog already got KO. Will he get Kong? Like, getting the Kong letters here doesn't actually waste time, so why not, right? Samu is going for vanilla style, with only 1 heart remaining. However, getting hits anymore, that's, yeah, that wasn't possible there. He gets a refill after getting back into his minecart. And actually, the giant machine that he just exited, or left from, that was a thing back when there were a lot of races. The moment you get into that machine, the runner would make like a machine sound, letting all the other runners know how good you're doing in the run. And those were some tricky jumps there. It's pretty easy to jump early and just die on that portion of the stage. Also, I totally miss if he got the N or not. He didn't go for the G at least. But he kept on living, so that's more important, I should say. Alright. Samu just entered 2-5, which is the first level where, from the first time that you get Cranky in the original Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze speedrun with Donkey, this is where you would trade in Cranky Kong for Dixie Kong, because this level definitely profits from having air capabilities, or extra air moves. Again, Funky is a jack of all trades. nor there being any Kongs. Nothing too much going on this level. The beginning could be pretty difficult. Please don't die on the later half. It's pointless. I mean, of course, but still. GreenSnowDog also doing pretty nicely. The penguin, however, didn't. Yeah, there we go. And Samu just entered a semi-auto-scroller. Which is pretty cool. Because there are finds everywhere. And there are some ways to actually speed it up by jumping into the beginning. And don't jump whenever you don't have to, from find to find. That all is just that little bit faster. And in the original speedrun, which is also pretty interesting to know, so this is the first level where you really want to hurry up. Because this is where barrel cycles are actually pretty important. In the original, every Funky Kong barrel, which you might have seen a few times already, they would have your buddy Kongs in there. First Diddy, then Dixie, and then Cranky. And it changes every second. And you want Cranky here, since you have Dixie Kong from the previous level. Samu just passed the first barrel. And you only have like not even a second of leeway if you mess it up. Otherwise you have to wait another 2 seconds. So you can get Cranky again. See if saying we can hold a lot of speeds. Yeah, that's nice. You got a giant speed boost from falling into there. Another climb, Simon's 2-1. And 2-3 actually. SnowDog took it safe. Which definitely, I don't blame him. He's doing really well. Like a few mistakes, but other than that, he's still like only maybe half a minute away from Samu at this point. And this game definitely is one of the more difficult Switch games. So he could still win with a fat PB. Anywho, this is Carl, the first Samu, the first of, well actually the best boss of the game. So I really hope the other runners won't kill me right now. Since I also liked another boss, but that's beside the point. There's a lot of speed tech to actually make this 5-minute boss a 2-minute boss. And that's all how you, it all has to do with like managing your stuff. Samu actually didn't do it correct. He threw the egg way too early. This only will cost him like... I do want to say it will cost him 15 seconds. But he did end it like early. And he got the bad RNG on the active pencil. Alright, phase 3. This is where you really don't want to mess up, because if you do mess up, it will cost you a big, fat 50 seconds at the least. You only get 2 of the egg birds here. SnowDog did exactly the same thing as Samu. So, Scout is going to do a few attacks where he's dropping all of these birds. And you don't want to lose your birds. You should be pretty safe now. Hit Scowler on that with a normal hit. Then throw the final one. There we go. If you miss one of those hits, you have to sit for all his attacks again, which is, yeah, like I said, around 50 seconds a minute. Let's see how SnowDog will perform. But also, Samu is going to World 3, which is the Savannah Island. And the music here is... well, at least the first stage is good. The rest, eh? Again, we'll come to that later. SnowDog is taking it safe. Because it is pretty easy to miss these acts. And Samu is actually on the 2nd global level. With global cycles, because everything is set on this pretty cool music. There we go, SnowDog did real nice. Yeah, you didn't really see it right here, but there's a cycle here you want to get. And Samu got it! This blue-black zebra pole, I guess. He only comes every 6 seconds. So if you miss him, that's another 6 seconds. Fortunately, Samu was there as fast as... I don't want to say possible. Definitely fast enough. He got the fastest cycle. One last haircut, and that's the end for the best music level in this game already. I really want to switch the music over right now, but I shouldn't. Alright, Samu is in a really cool time attack level, which is actually something that I didn't touch even. Or, well, I haven't even spoken about. This game has built-in leaderboards and a pretty good time attack, which is different than Donkey Kong Country Returns. However, yeah, I do want to say that there's a lot of competition there, and a lot of runners even, and non-runners. Just compete for the best time, so that's where every millisecond counts. A friend of mine actually started running this game. And we both learned every level individually. And do time attacks against each other, and well, we were milliseconds away from each other. We weren't in the top segment, but good enough, right? In the beginning of this level, there were those flowers that Samu and in a little bit SnowDog had to jump onto. But with a really well-timed grab jump, you can skip all of that. However, even in time attack, it's not recommended. It's so random. Samu has to wait here for a little auto-scroller part. Yeah, I didn't expect any of the runners going for that jump, actually. Maybe Crunch or DKS, which definitely are a few of the top runners of this game. Actually, who won that match? Because I know that Crunch had to run against Newbie. Or not so Newbie. Oh, that was not a loser match. Okay. Of course not. Okay, so Samu is in free. I forgot the name of the level, but that's not important. It's a Rambi level. You definitely don't want to get the first Rambi you can get, and there's a pretty cool strat with Rambi, with Cranky Kong, called the Doshido. It's pretty hard to pull off. No, Crunch is actually in the semifinals. Nice. Because you can get a lot of speed from those little tornadoes, and the beauty about Cranky Kong is that if you use a Pogo, you will not lose any momentum, so you could like speed for the majority of this level. The only unfortunate part is that it's pretty difficult to keep, even if you get it. You have to know where to do what jump or roll, like, precisely. So Free 4 is a pretty lengthy level with a lot of pretty cool content. And there's a lot of stuff that can damage you, so you're definitely going to take hits or two. And since you can't do that on the original speedruns, it was a little bit slower to do. Like, Funky definitely shines in at least most of the levels, not all of them. Like some bosses you can better do with Cranky, and I don't remember which level exactly, but Funky makes it harder. I believe it's X5. Didn't get... Ooh, this is looking bad for Samu. If he jumps out, yeah, he's safe, he got it. He was doing pretty spooky, but we all have faith in him. Oh, yeah, this level. Here's the music. And if you were a DKC 2 fan and loved Sticker Boost Symphony, well, you'll only get to hear it for 5 seconds because it's now replaced by this poopy or this shitty fluted version of the Rocket Barrel team. SnowDog literally got a Funky Barrel 10 seconds ago. It's already down 3 hearts. Then again, that's the nature of this level. Alright, Samu is going to be the collector. And just, yeah, getting stuff. However, this is a pretty cool level, as you could definitely, like, just stand up, do some exercises, as long as you hold A, because you have 3 hearts, and from this point, up until the secret exit portal, which is the first secret that you get, actually, all you need to do is hold A. You can do it from the start as well, and then go down for a heart. Maybe GreenSnowDog will do that. Doesn't seem like it. Nope, he's not going to do it. I wouldn't blame anyone for doing the holding A strats. He's collecting, or everyone's collecting all the banana medals, but there are no shopping trips in this run. So, going back on the DKC 2 train hype train, that's it. Welcome to Bramble Scramble, which is definitely a throwback to the third world. However, different level concepts, and Samu unfortunately miscalculated his jump. But it's hard since, like, as I probably don't have to tell, like, the whole level is being generated, like, in front of your nose. Which shouldn't be that big of a problem for a speedrunner. But it is still pretty difficult if you're not familiar enough with the game. And at the end there are 2 damage boosts that you're going to do. So you don't want to take... Oh! You actually survived the last one. Alright, time for the third boss of the game. Baboom. Which is a cool name because they're baboons and they throw bombs and they say boom. Alright, jokes aside, there are 3 monkeys. And all 3 of them has their own health meter, which is indicated by the color of their fur. You can see the middle one actually being a little bit lighter. Because what you... Aw, Samu missed! What you want to do is actually focus on one of the monkeys. Because as soon as you kill one of them off, the rest are invincible for a bit until they actually heal their wounds. So you definitely want to focus on one. And this boss was actually plagued with a lot of RNG. Luckily, more of it is a little bit set now, and easier with Funky Kong. And when I say focus on one monkey, you definitely still want to attack both, since that actually speeds up the fight. So we forgot where the bomb dropped. It actually is pretty set where the monkey drops the bomb. Or like, there's a tell, of course. GreenSnowDog is doing tryhard strats, which is pretty cool. Phil Mickelson! Yeah, you definitely, like Jock is saying, in the first phase, when the monkey duplicates to the right side, you want to stand on the right side and wait there, because that's where the melon will drop. Samu just entered the 4th world, which is also known as Water World. And ideally, in a hybrid run where you're both Funky and Donkey Kong, you would switch over to Donkey Kong here, but just for this world. Because Diddy Kong, while he's actually useful nowhere, he's pretty fast underwater, and he's easier to control than the corkscrews that Funky is doing right now. However, that does mean that you don't have to double jump and all that other stuff. So it's a trade-off, but if you know you're Cranky Kong, you definitely want to take it. You're watching 2 memes right now, Jock. Another thing is that barrel cycles underwater are a little bit more unforgiving, or forgiving, depends who you're asking. Instead of 1 second on land, it actually takes 2 seconds to go to the next barrel. Meaning that if you miss a cycle, you have to wait an additional 4 seconds rather than 2. And there are not a lot of... there was only 1 barrel in this level, and you need Dixie Kong for that. Because that well-hidden secret portal that Samu just went in, the best hidden one of the game, if I might add, you can only get there with Dixie Kong. You can also get there with Diddy Kong, if you time your inputs well enough, but that's developer unintended. So for the sake of convenience, it's Dixie only. And not all levels are strictly underwater. Little bit of difficulty grabbing that funky barrel over there. But that is where you will actually get Diddy Kong for this level. And other than that, this is the only level in the run where you would have the body trifecta. You would start or enter this level as Dixie Kong, sorry, the girl character. Go over to Diddy Kong because you go underwater and you have no use for the pogo, no real use for the pogo. And then end it off as Cranky Kong, because there's a setup for the ending part, and it is just so good and so fast. Like, this is the place. You need to get like a little bit of a height boost to get in there. And he got it. I would not recommend doing a lot of levels as solo DK. However, in the challenge run, definitely do it. Okay, GreenSnowDog also back in 4A. Hopefully doing the same things. Samu actually going into 4B, which is sort of a labyrinth where you need to collect keys and open chests, and one of them at least is hidden pretty much off the beaten path. But one of the things that Funky makes this level way easier is the fact that there's infinite air. However, the corkscrews are still slow and hard to control. And there's actually something in the Wii U version. The only real unintended level that you... or at least you would do the whole level unintended rather than a few jumps. What you could do is kinda clip your buddy character out of bounds. And if you do that like correctly, you can swim around the whole level with Diddy Kong, so it is jetpack, pretty fast. And just go into the ending, and you don't have to collect all of these keys. However, it is a pretty relaxing level. The music is good, aquatic ambience from the original Donkey Kong Country. Oh yeah, that too. Corkscrew is also fat. Your hitbox is bigger, meaning that it's harder to get around the enemies. And there's actually a thing in the room where GreenSnowDog just was. In any case, that's 4D. It's not going into... don't go into the same level, please. It's not going into 4-5, which is the only level here that's 100% above water. And it's not an auto-scroller. So, definitely your Kong of choice is Cranky Kong. Or Funky, if he's your guy. However, there are a lot of tight jumps and tight platforms. You have to wait here for the melons, which is... I don't know, you could practice some basketball in here. Oh, that was unfortunate. Samu hit the penguin. And it wasn't in time to recover from that. Nothing to matter though. Making that platform self-destruct is actually the next world. And at least you got the quick barrel. There are some pretty cool tricks. Like right in there. You didn't show them off, but at least you got the fast cycle. If you were, I don't want to say unlucky, but if you jumped into the wrong barrel, what would happen? Oh, this is a cool trick. Oh, he doesn't go for it. You could just go around these crates rather than punch through them. Maybe we'll see GreenSnowDog do it. But like I was saying, there's that wheel with four of those barrels, and instead of going to the right one, it would go all the way around. You had to wait the longest time. Definitely not recommended. Oh, SnowDog is actually starting that level pretty well. Jumping to hit the penguin earlier with the bomb. Not sure why he punched the ground there. Alright, Samu just entered 4-6, which is a pretty tight level back if you're doing DK strats. Because there are some barrels in here, and one of them is really tight, the other one isn't as tight, but still, you definitely want to get it. Because both barrels are on the global cycle. And one of them is underwater, meaning if you miss it, you have to wait 4 seconds for it to actually return. However, you do have some leeway in the rest of the level then, but we're speedrunners. We don't want to lose time. This is where you would take some intentional hits to oh, Simon got stuck in the wall there. You could actually do this with only one black heart, but that's unfortunate. You really got to be careful right now. However, the next DK barrel is right after this section, but he's not out of danger. Okay, this should be good. And someone will now take some intentional damage strats here. He's still not out of danger though, but somehow, or for some reason, he wants to swim around the barrel, keeping us all in suspense. But hey, SnowDog just gave up, in the sense of he's just going with the current rather than fighting it. Oh, he has to now. Oh, that's unfortunate. He didn't add enough hard points for that. Okay, I wanted to ask everyone to point your attention to Samu's thing right now, because blink and you'll miss it. Well, casually this boss is like 5 minutes, or something similar. For the speedrun, he's really fast, because his hitbox is actually accessible most of the time. It's his butt. So instead of waiting for him to expose his butt, that sounds weird. And I see Samu is not going to do that. You wanna actually just wait behind him and just hit him. It is actually faster to just suicide your character. Or is he going for the stress right now? He can still recover from that. He is not. Because it is faster to actually try again. Alright, this is GreenSnowDog's chance to actually catch up. Got one more hit for Samu. And that's Fugu! Which could be the quickest boss of them all. As in, within a minute with Cranky. While Cranky is no good underwater for movement, he has an underwater attack with a pretty long range, so normally that's your preferred Kong. However, there's a backup strat if you lose Cranky, and that's exactly what Funky is doing. Okay, time for the longest load of the game. Oh, SnowDog is going for it. Or might be going for it. Alright, World 5 definitely is where the platforming challenge definitely ramps up. I might have said definitely twice. Yeah, GreenSnowDog is going for it. However, he's doing something risky. Or he made a mistake. You don't... Like, you're taking a lot of damage over there, and you definitely want to take damage from Fugu and not from the spikes. Because they will throw you in random directions, whereas Fugu will always just push you behind. Oh, Samu missed a roll somewhere. Unfortunately, he had to pay that with death. He was close to a checkpoint though, so no biggie. There. I'll just wait. Yeah, SnowDog is doing it pretty alright right now. Behind Fugu. Samu! Hold the grab button. There we go. Again, this is a pretty hard game, and it's really easy to make mistakes. Yeah, pretty easy to make mistakes. Also, there are a lot of damage boosts you probably are going to do here. And he makes the same mistake that I always do. That's more interesting from a runner perspective. Oh, he timed that. Nice. GreenSnowDog is actually doing pretty nice on 5-1 as well. There's this runner joke in this level, the trusting trolley. However, since Funky has a double jump, you don't actually have to trust the trolley anymore. That's a pretty cool strat. Or strat. It's a good meme. Okay, so Samu is currently in 5-2, which is the 4th auto-scroller of this game. And it's actually a pretty cool story that Mumu Akai, another runner of the game, not in tournaments, told me. Is that you could buffer the inputs for the rockets and then go faster on the RTA, or not the RTA clock, the in-game timer clock, which is only useful for time attacks. Because you would pause buffer a lot of your inputs. So, the cool thing is that sometimes it goes like really fast. And if you do it optimally, it goes like way too fast. In the first rocket level that we saw, like you would go so fast that the door in front of you before entering the rocket hasn't even opened yet, so you would crash into that. And in this here level, you would go backwards or something, and then you have to do this level while being invincible, and then somewhere halfway the stage, you're just doing it, you just die. At least, that's what I believe is how the story goes. Yeah, there's also an auto-scroller in Rule 2 that we don't do. Which... Wait, is that one? And Samu is still going for the old strats. That's a strategy you definitely have to do with Cranky or Dixie Kong or whatever Kong you have to get to the ending barrel, but nowadays you can do that with the grab jump. Oh yeah, the cheese balls, of course. I was thinking about the real cool one with the multi-tracks. Unfortunately, this is not Danger the D. Right, Samu currently in 5-3. It looks like everything is on the global cycle, but it's not. Other than that, the grab jump definitely helped fixing one jump, and it's a really cool show. However, I do want to say something about the end. GreenSnowDog also pretty nicely at the end of 5-2. For some reason I wanted to say 4B. And he is going for the grab jump. Ooh, Samu. You're cutting it close, man. There's a funky barrel here, which he will take. He will not take it, but he will do the crunch ledge. Okay, so the ending barrel over here. You can just barely miss it. In the past, the runners have tried to do everything with camera manipulation, trying to get into that earlier, because you're just waiting until you can touch it, like right down here. And unfortunately, there was nothing that worked. But what is pretty cool is you can, as soon as you hear the barrel, you can actually reach it. Before you can see it, that's what I mean. Right. Samu just entered 5-4. There's a lot of swimming in here. And something more important, this funky barrel, or DK barrel, is the only one in the whole level. And there is a secret portal that you definitely need Diddy Kong for. Was it Diddy Kong? No, it was Dixie Kong. So you could only take one hit point in the original speedrun, and that's it. Otherwise, you had to do the Gem and Jellies of Shame, which is a thing. It's just a slower level. But even then, you don't want to do a lot of damage abuses that you definitely will do with Funky Kong. Jelly Jamboree, that's it. Gem and Jellies is a different level. Which I believe is the level after this one. Ooh, that barrel section can be pretty annoying. Sometimes we can just mash through it, but other times you have to wait a little bit until all of these things are spitting. Gem and Gems! Apologies. I'm just mix and matching 2 levels. However, mixing those levels would be pretty interesting. However, there would be too many level mechanics alongside each other. The grab jump can definitely help with the ascent here, but it's also pretty risky. Okay, take one last damage hit, and unfortunately, you have to bite it with a death. However, with Funky Kong, obviously, Funky can do anything. So we can just take the secret exit. Again, I do want to reiterate, Funky Kong is not per se easy mode for speedruns, but it is for casual. Like, really, really much. Alright, Simon found the portal, and GreenSnowDog is right behind him. Now it's time for the last secret level for the speedrun. Watch out, SnowDog. I know the strat, but it's scary if you miss it. Especially with a bird. Oh no! That's not good. Alright, Samu somehow is skipping the intro very late. This is also a pretty cool level. This is one of the 3 levels, and the last one of the run, where everything is on a global cycle. Meaning that in the original one, you had to wait, or with Cranky Kong that is, you had to wait a long time for some stuff. Or well, a long time. You had to stand still for a second, or waste time otherwise. Momo would like to do slapping strats. But other than that, with Funky, you're just a bit faster, you don't have to wait a lot. Come on, Samu. It's taking a lot of damage, and there are not a lot of Funky barrels. I believe that's the last one for the whole level. And there are still a lot opportunities where you definitely want to damage abuse through. This is one of them. Oh, there goes the stream. Let's hope it's only temporary. That's a different frame. Going to switch game audio over to GreenSnowDog just for a little bit. Yeah, shoutouts to one of the volunteers for Speed Gaming for making the design of the race layout. I see that Samu is almost at the end of this level. There's just a little section coming up. And this is definitely the place where you probably will die in terms of global cycles. So GreenSnowDog is just taking it easy. Trying not to die, which definitely is a really good strat. However, he is risky, and he's not... Oh, he is going for stomp strats. I'm actually going to check his stream real quick. See if everything is still going alright. However, GreenSnowDog is just at the end. He didn't do a damage boost. However, that was a pretty pretty quick exit. Because Samu's stream is also lagging on my end, on his own stream at least. Hopefully it's just his internet, so we have to wait for that to come back. However, this is one of my favorite speed levels. Frosty Fruits. And you didn't want to get rejected by the watermelon, but there's a lot of opportunities to just go fast. It's not going fast or above that ice thingy, whatever it is. If he does it correctly, you can get a lot of speeds from getting pushed by one of these watermelons. Yeah, Samu is just having some internet problems, so we have to wait for that to resolve. However, from what I saw, he did die a few times in 3B or 5B. So they might be like on the same pace, I don't know. It's really close, that's what I want to say. Again, I do want to mention, this is a hard game. Anything could happen. Alright, time for the longest boss of this whole game. If you know how to do Frederick, the final boss, pretty alright that is. This is Bashmaster, the Unbreakable. And one of the things is there's a lot of good use towards damage boosting here. This fight. Also, a minor thing that this boss has is a lot of RNG, and with that I mean RNG removed. Because on the Switch version, I didn't touch base on it before, but a lot of boss RNG is actually set right now. Which definitely helps in terms of not losing time, but for Frederick not gaining time. Yes, the owl guy is 5 minutes casually. For the speedrun, only 2 minutes. Fugu is like 4 minutes normal, and then 1 minute for the speedrun. And Bassmaster is 3 minutes for the speedrun. However, he isn't as difficult to do really good. Like, you will never lose a lot of time on him if you at least try. Or know what he's doing. Okay, Samu's stream is down right now. A little down from there. One of the random things is how often... Wait, was that the bet? I didn't actually count how much Bassmaster would actually do slam attacks. However, it should be set to 5 in total. Ah, we see Samu is back, or maybe. However, it does seem that GreenSnowDog doesn't really know this fight too hard yet. Because the first ice cube will have the watermelon in it. Oh, we see that Samu is also on Bassmaster. Ha, fake out. Next one should have a watermelon, yes. Grab the heart. You definitely want to do a damage booster. And that's the end for Bassmaster. I do want to mention to follow both of the runners. They're really good at this game. And I'm going to do a shameless plug here as well. So I want to open fun. Yeah, there's going to be a few problems with Samu still. That's unfortunate. I'll see what happens in a few minutes. However, this is World 6. Don't forget ice physics, or please get used to it. Because every level in here has ice physics. I mean, the name of the game is Tropical Freeze, of course. If you have played the Wii version, Donkey Kong Country Returns, then you would probably recognize a few things from these levels, since every level in this world, there are 8 of them, are based on a whole world of Donkey Kong Country Returns. Like this should be, this level 1 should be the jungle. And then the next level should be the beach, followed by the ruins. And then the 4th level should be an auto-scroller, since, obviously, that was an auto-scroller world. Oh man. GreenSnowDog doesn't know the cool strats that are actually in 6.1. We did get a chance to listen to the good soundtrack though, that's pretty cool. Alright, the beach level, or quote-unquote beach. There is water in here, however, unlike every other state that we had before, everything is frozen in here, so the water, while not frozen, is too cold, meaning that it will give you some damage. However, oh, you can make anybody grab jump? That's good. Yeah, there is a strat in here called boat skip, and you would use the damage boost from the ice water to actually go forwards. Or at least that's the fastest way of doing it. I really need to learn how to not take damage there, but that's something I probably shouldn't meddle with in this race. Okay, here's the boat. So 1. And chances of fast bow skip are looking meager right now. Yeah, he can't do the damage boost anymore, so he has to wait right now. He almost died touching the hooch right there. Okay, this Samu stream looks restored in my end. And he currently is in 6-1. Yeah, okay, they're synced again. Right, 26. Meaning that GreenSnowDog actually is in front. So, 6-3. Okay, gotta say yup in here. 6-3 is a pretty short but sweet level. There are some pretty cool skips at the end, and there's a lot of, yeah, precise jumps. So they'll... Oh, he doesn't jump there. And Samu just forfeited the match, unfortunately. You could actually, from that really long platform, just roll to the end and then make it into the barrel on the floor there. Which is pretty cool to see. He apologizes if he lets someone down. However, with that being said, it's time for SnowDog to actually finish the race, because he hasn't won yet. He needs to finish the run. And he's doing pretty alright. So, world, or level 4, which equals world 4, auto-scroller worlds. Heck yeah. This is the hardest auto-scroller of them all, as there are no recovery hearts. And it's pretty easy to get hit in at least the second half of the game. And I'm so happy that I ran returns. Definitely training me into navigating with the rocket here. Oh, mute, okay. And he's going vanilla! And he's committing suicide to actually just survive it. Which is not a bad strat, definitely not. Shoutouts to the purple bat called Big Squiggly. He's all frozen over, which is pretty sad. Okay, so story time. In the SGDQ run relay race of 2016, they were talking about the amount of hearts that you had in returns or the original DKC trilogy. And Michael Goldfish, a pretty good runner of this game, one of the kings. He heard that because they had a commentating system there. He heard that, and he was like, okay, let's go vanilla. He immediately took damage and did the whole stage with only one heart. Madman. And for everyone that's casual at this game, please jump. You can jump as a snowball. If you look at the icon in the top left, it actually says you're in a minecart. And you don't need to jump for the first few, yeah, for the first few jumps, but after that, you die, and then, oh, you can jump. I know, I died to that, like, once or twice. And 6-5, this is one of the few levels where Funky Kong definitely is not faster than Donkey Kong and Co. However, there are some pretty cool strats in 6-5, which are momentum strats, and I don't expect them. I thought I was going to see it there. However, there's a lot, like more than 50% of this level, more than 60% of this level even. There's no flooring here. You're all just in the air, going from platform to platform. Or something else. And you definitely, well, it just looks baller going all that fast. Definitely recommend to check out other runs. Because some of these strats are just really cool to see, really hard to pull off. And I have to mention, as it's a pretty cool strat name, there are 3 momentum thingies. And you get tempted to do one of those. Right there. The last momentum strat here is called the Inca Dinka. A friend of mine who also runs this game, he doesn't like all the strats that the DKC Tropical Freeze community gave all the tricks, except for Inca Dinka because it's so stupid. It doesn't matter though. And this is a pretty hard level, with or without being cautious. I mean, this is the final world. After this level, there are 3 more levels. And after that, it's, yeah, final boss, ready. So yeah, I can't blame SnowDog for taking it safe. My personal goal for this level is also gold while taking it super, super easy. SnowDog! What happened there? It's taking it easy again. The checkpoint is right on the other side. But I believe once he passes this giant gap, there should be another funky barrel, but he has to wait for that. Or not, go fast. And then get a surprise snowflake to the face. In the beginning days of this run, or actually, not the beginning days, but yeah, like the first few months, the runners actually didn't know you could bounce off these snowflakes. And when that was known, oh man, the magic happened. And this definitely, when done fast properly, it's not only a really cool sight, it's definitely, in my opinion, the best speed game. Unfortunately, out of the 3 silhouette levels in this game, this is the only one in the speedrun, and it's so late. This level also definitely gives way for time attacks. It's pretty technical. Waiting there for like a second or so, not a second, less than a second, to not get hit, to a pretty cool strat at the end that someone found probably while sleeping. It reminds me of the Wind Waker HD strat. That's something else. Again, these jumps can definitely just be the worst thing ever. Okay, time for the ascent, or this little interlude before. This music also is a treat to my ears. Okay, but the next part after this, if you just hold right, you will go into the barrel that you're supposed to get into already. Normally you have to climb through all of this. Shoot! There we go. But yeah, that barrel is already spawned there, just out of sight. And if you just walk to the right, nothing else, no running, then that's all you need to know. However, you do need to wait a few seconds, 5 or so, because otherwise you will bump into something and there's no retry, there's only one barrel. Okay, this is probably the most recognizable of all the levels. This is the factory from Donkey Kong Country Returns. What I mean? And this is a pretty hard stage. There's a lot of electricity that can just hurt you. There is actually, there's only that, and a lot of bits as well. And a funny story that was told to me by Muwakai is that in the speedrun this was, and still is, a Diddy level. No, not Diddy, Dixie Kong, the girl character. Oh. Apparently I was a robot and now I'm human again. So like I was saying, this was a Dixie Kong level, the girl character. And everyone was joking, ha! Someone please make this a cranky level. And then one day, everyone was just laughing in the Skype group. And then Cruncha, one of the other OG runners, came in and he was like, guys, check the leaderboards. And he actually did a run where Cranky got like a 0.02 or 0.2 second average over the fastest Dixie run in time attack. And then the optimizations came, and now Cranky is still the fastest one. I'm not sure if Cranky is faster than Funky. The cool thing about that though is that at a certain point at the end you had to wait as Cranky Kong. like for a second, and even then you would be a second faster than Dixie Kong. Time for the last level. And it's another Rambi level. Oh, that's sour. Oh, okay, he made it. So Rambi, the one big disadvantage about Rambi, which I actually didn't say in the beginning, is that whenever you start a dash, you will have half a second of starting up, so he's a little bit slower. And the other thing is that in this level, you've probably seen it already, you have to wait for a lot of platforms to go down. And like GreenSnowDog did there, is he jumped prematurely. And that's not his fault. Well, I mean, kinda is, but it's really difficult to just be slow, since this is the only level in the game where that happened. I don't blame him for doing that, just wanting to go fast. He has been fast for 1 hour and 37 minutes. Now he has to wait. And unlike the other two Rambi levels that we had in World 2 and 3, it sounds like Funky said I can fly. But unlike the other levels, where you don't even need Rambi to complete the level, this is the only Rambi level, I believe, where you need Rambi to actually go further than 10 meters. There is one place, and I believe that's it, where he is right now, where you can ditch Rambi just to become a little bit faster. But other than that, no way. And this is the third level in this world with the same music. What happened to his double jump? He's going pretty fast on this section, at least. Wait, can you skip that? Oh, he prematurely pressed the A button there. That's even worse. Instead of waiting for a second and see the barrel move, which is normally the case in the previous barrel section, you have to wait there for 10 seconds. And the barrel is stationary. This is a really bad level to end the run, honestly. To an otherwise great run, I might add. And that's it. You could drop Rambi there, like just for the heck of it. That happened actually in where was it? At the relay race that I was talking about earlier, and there was so much fan art made, according to Mumuakai. And now it's time for the final boss. And he can be a meanie. So immediately he jumps to the background. He's like, I can't lose if I don't fight. However, he does fight from the distance. He's throwing these ducks down in ice balls and dances around. Because this is the only place where he can throw ducks, actually. There are quick hits. However, it's way safer and easier to actually just wait until he stands still. And you have to hit him on the back. He goes around 3 times. And again, you go to the next phase if you hit him 3 times. Meaning that we have to wait an extra cycle of the same attacks before he goes Nice, I stopped mid-sentence. Before we go to the next phase. There we go. The only thing that changes in his attacks is that before spawning all of the enemies that you can attack him with in the background, he will make the whole stage icy. And something else that happens is that his speed will change. In the first phase he just stays pretty slow. And then in the second phase, well, with the 3 hits that you have to do to him, you will actually go gradually faster each time you hit him. So he's slow now. He's still slow. Okay, so if he was to walk again, you would actually go as fast as possible, or faster, and then the fastest speed that you can get. However, he always starts slow in the second phase, so he's not fast yet in a little bit. Does that make sense? Also, hitting him with the enemies in the background doesn't necessarily mean hitting him. It does look like damage, but the only thing that it does is progress the fight and make him go to the foreground. So 1 more hit. He goes faster now. Ooh, on his butt. Otherwise he would have been here for another minute. Alright, time for phase 3. Top platform rises. And he's doing... This was RNG, what pattern he was going to do, but now that it's set, it will always be the best one, and it's called pissing your pants. Other than that, there's nothing different that you will see from him. I mean, yeah, the spawn locations of the little ducks that you have to throw at him, but other than that, it's the same. And inverted, I guess, but eh. Oh, they're bunnies now. Okay, so now he goes super fast, so you have to be on your toes. So we're going to see a second phase. Okay, he needs 2 more hits. So he's going to do this one again. Now with the slower one. Now he'll maybe jump to the... He will not. Let's shoot ice dragons, which have a stat pattern. Oh, that's still something that I want to do. Oh, and instead of jumping to the background... Oh, maybe? Instead of jumping to the background, he will charge again before going to the background. Just a little bit faster. definitely survive SnowDog. No one should ever die in this boss fight. Not sure if he knows. We can roll through these enemies, and they will drop hearts. However, you only have a limited amount of time. There we go. And time! 1:45:52. Is that you? Yo, SnowDog. Congrats, dude, on the win.
Oh, I was scared the whole run.
So, you got any comments about your run?
Definitely needs improvement, but I did get a new PB for myself.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Congrats, dude.
Yeah. I've gotten others, but I haven't posted them up, so no one would know.
You had a 1:46, I believe.
1 hour, 45 minutes.
45.
Oh, okay.
Now it's one. Oh,
I thought
what you had previously is what I meant.
my previous is 1 hour and 59 minutes. So it's a 10-minute improvement. I feel bad for Samu with his Wi-Fi problem there.
Yeah, same. That definitely is really unfortunate. You were pretty close to him, like at most one level away from him.
Yeah, at the beginning on the first and second world we were sort of close and then slowly spread apart, and next few levels we were apart until Bashmaster. That's when his Wi-Fi starts to mess around. Okay.
So yeah, with the exception of the last world, it was one of the better matches.
I can say in some areas I have improved, but some I still need work on.
You also did the fast kill on Fuku for a try, but you definitely did it pretty nicely as well.
There's always like a heart. It's always weird. Sometimes you get a heart and sometimes you don't, and you really need those hearts.
Yeah. I almost saw you die on the final boss. I was like, please don't, please don't. But luckily you pulled through.
While I was in battle at the second boss in World 2, I was having flashbacks of my first match. Jumping off that edge on the third round.
Yeah, I remember that. At least you didn't do that this time. Actually, your skull was pretty alright.
I'm just glad I made it through and somehow won.
Yeah, congrats, dudes. Your next opponent is going to be Not So Newbie. How do you feel about that?
It will be a challenge.
I can imagine. However, just do what you're doing best. Practice some more, I guess. It's never impossible. Alright, and with that, I think we should hand the channel over back to Speed Gaming, since I got the schedule here somewhere.
The next Donkey Country Tropical Freeze match is on Friday, 3 PM.
Yeah.
And it's you against Magnus.
Magnus. Yeah, that's going to be cool. Other than that, right now on Speed Gaming, the A Link to the Past randomizer has started on Speed Gaming 1, which is Blaine versus Gerdo. His name is, I believe. And then on this channel, whatever the ultimate decathlon means. Wish I knew. Yeah, definitely stick around for either of that, or tomorrow, around this time, myself against Magnus Rex. Yeah, that's going to be good. You have any closing words?
No. This training definitely needed.
What I'm going to say is follow the runners.
Yeah.
And a little luck for myself. Because why not? And yeah.
By yourself, so yeah, you deserve that.
Commentary is fun, dude. I mean, you're also commentating, and as it seems now, you're going to be the only commentator for Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday, I forgot about that. Well, that's not good, forgetting the times that you are supposed to commentate. Well, this is it.
Yep. Enjoy your evening or afternoon, or wherever you may live.